reaching that point of the summer where we're trying to figure out what in the world do we do with our children? How do we keep them entertained? Well, guess what? It's not the dog days of summer. It's the dino days of summer. And joining us from the Milwaukee Public Museum, a Fox 6 alum, it's Madeline Anderson. Hey, Madeline, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me. Feels good to be back on the Fox 6 or live desk airwaves.
We didn't even have the live desk when you were here. This is brand new. So anytime you want a tour of your old digs, you want to come in, we could show you the setup here because it's pretty cool. But it's exciting because we get to talk to people like you. Now you got a cool new job as the spokesperson for the museum. And this press release crossed my desk, and I thought, this is something we got to talk about because there are all sorts of cool events, especially for those who love dinosaurs, about to take place or are happening at the museum. So tell me about the Dino Days of Summer. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. So we kicked off it's our annual summer series, Dino Days of Summer. It started last week. It goes through July 25th. Come to the museum. Many of this programming is included in general admission. So we're going to have our educators on the exhibit floors during the weekdays, taking a deeper dive into some different dinosaur topics, including, what is a fossil, how to name a dinosaur, how scientists name dinosaurs, what is a dinosaur and what's not a dinosaur, because sometimes that can be pretty confusing and the answers are somewhat unexpected. And then we also, on Saturdays, are going to have a story time series for the younger learners. So approximately age 3 to 8, they can do some arts and crafts, of course, read some books about dinosaurs. And then we have a really fun event coming up next Thursday, July 24th, kind of to wrap up the whole 3-week series called Family Dino Trivia. So bring the whole family. It is for people ages 6 and up. So kids, adults, anyone can partake. And if you love trivia or if you're good at dino knowledge or both, this is the event for you. And we have plenty of tickets left for that one. Even if you're bad at dino knowledge, I feel like this could be fun because you can make a fool of yourself as some 6-year-old or 7-year-old who's really in the dinosaurs schools us all on the things that are all dinosaurs. I like to in the planetarium, one of my favorite places to go when I go down to MPM. You guys are going to have a dinosaur movie playing, right? Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. So every day we're also going to have a planetarium film called Dinosaurs, S-O-A-R-S, and it explores the connection between dinosaurs and modern day birds. So that is also an exciting thing we have going on. And yes, as you said, I think the kids are actually much better at dino trivia than any adult. In fact, I was corrected just last week at the museum by a 10-year-old about how I was pronouncing a dinosaur's name. It is funny because I think I was obsessed with dinosaurs, and I don't know why that has escaped me now. Can I ask you about this picture? I cannot tell you. I talked to so many people last week. I'm like, hey, Madeline Anderson's coming on the live desk. We're going to talk dinosaurs. And all sorts of people, if you grew up in Wisconsin and you took a field trip to the Milwaukee Public Museum, it's been ingrained in people's minds that dinosaur, the T-Rex that is eating the other dinosaur, that is so spooky and terrifying for kids, but also their favorite thing in the museum. This is like the biggest attraction. Yeah, it's a rite of passage if you grew up in Wisconsin to go there on a field trip and be scared to death by that diorama. So that's our famous Hell Creek diorama. You've got giant T-Rex and an unlucky Triceratops as its meal. And if you've been there, as you said, there's lightning, there's sound effects, there's roars. It can be kind of scary, but if a fan favorite for sure. Scary or awesome. It's kind of like when you go to the Rainforest Cafe for the first time and the thunderstorm comes on, and that moment sticks with you forever. But I do have to ask, because as you guys are getting ready to move, there's your beautiful new home that is rising from the ground, from the dirt. And it's going to be amazing. In the same breath that people were talking to me about their field trips when they were kids,
they were like, well, will you please ask Madeline if they're going to have that over at the new museum?
So we're kind of combining two dinosaur exhibits into one very spectacular diorama that the visitor can enter. So we have a pterosaur skeleton, and that's the museum's only full dinosaur skeleton. We have other dinosaur fossils, but this is the full skeleton. It's the only one we have, a giant pterosaur. And so we're actually going to pose it with a fleshed out model of a pterosaur, so visitors can see what the skeleton looks like and also what a fleshed out pterosaur would have looked like, some 65 million years ago. And they will be posed, yep, there's the sketch there. They will be posed on these rocks, and visitors can actually walk under this battle scene between the two pterosaurs. And then you can see in the background, T-Rex is lurking in the distance.
Yeah,
and
there
the
he is
story.
back there.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I was saying I see him lurking, ready to eat
the
some of
story
your
there
visitors.
is he's waiting for the loser of the battle, which will probably be his next lunch. And this diorama, I love it too, because our pterosaur skeleton has a giant puncture wound in the frill, that big head plate behind the horns. And so scientists from research realized it was probably caused by another pterosaur in a battle over mates or resources like food. So we're posing these how they probably would have acted back then.
And I know just with the amount of money that you guys are spending on this new museum, it's going to be state-of-the-art stuff. So it'll be so cool. Is this your pterosaur?
Yep, there it is.
I learned something new today. I had no idea that was called a pterosaur. So it will look like this in the new museum as it's about to go to battle. That will be so cool, and I imagine it'll be just as spooky.
Yeah, can you imagine walking under that? I think it's just going to be such a cool moment and a photo opportunity. So we're really excited for that one.
I can't wait for that. Hey, while I have you here, can you give us an update on the timeline?
Yes.
It's just so amazing as I drive downtown from time to time. Every time I drive by, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much more of it is done. This thing is getting built so quickly.
Yeah, so we actually have our topping off ceremony tomorrow. And that basically signifies that we've reached full vertical height of the building, which is 100 feet. And then from there, we start enclosing the building. So we're going to bring these big concrete panels that will enclose the building by the end of the year. And so it will actually look done by the end of 2025, but then the full next year will encompass, interior work, obviously installing the exhibits. And then the new museum, the Nature and Culture Museum of Wisconsin, will open sometime in early 2027. And of course, the new museum, or the current museum, will remain open through the end of 2026. So still plenty of time to visit.
Are you sure that you got schooled by a 10-year-old? Because you seem pretty knowledgeable about dinosaurs now, Madeline.
Well, technically, it wasn't even a dinosaur. It's a plesiosaur. And that's one other fun fact you can learn when you go to the museum, that giant plesiosaur outside your favorite planetarium area is not a dinosaur at all.
I love that so much. Okay, if we want information on the Dino Days of Summer, because again, this is like so many events in the upcoming days and weeks here, where do we go? Where can we find all the information?
Yep, just go to mpm.edu.
Let's do a trade here, Madeline. You come back and see Fox 6 so I can show you all the cool new updates, and you get me into the museum for a preview before anyone else can, so I get a VIP experience. How about that? Does that sound like a trade?
You got it.
Madeline Anderson, former reporter extraordinaire here at Fox 6, now doing amazing things with the Milwaukee Public Museum. Thanks, Madeline. Appreciate you coming on here.